Hey, thank you for joining me at Simple Real Estate Investing, where I offer simple tips to get you started on your wealth building journey through real estate. My name is Austin, and my wife and I have a mission to help 1,000 home renters become homeowners over the next 25 years. So if you want to contribute to that mission and help us reach our goal, you can do a couple of things right now. You can like this video. Later on, you can comment down below with something that was insightful or a takeaway, and obviously hit the subscribe button, please. All right, so let's get down to business. My wife and I bought our first rental in November of 2020, and 5 months later, we found ourselves with 12 doors. And so if you're watching this video, you probably see the title and it says how to scale from 1 to 12 doors in 5 months, and that's why you're here. The first thing I'll say before we get into any practical or tactical things that you can do is your pace is your pace. And so maybe you're not at the place where you can get to 12 right away. That's okay. Maybe your strategy doesn't involve scaling this fast. That's okay. The main thing is you have to find the strategy and the pace that works for you and your lifestyle, and then just go with that. What I found in our journey is that it actually takes consistent action over time to produce the results that you want to see. So don't feel any pressure today after watching this video that you have to scale or that you have to move quickly. Listen, some of us just have a longer period of time that it takes in order to get in the game, and that's okay. But the reality is, if you want to see results, you've got to take action. So at some point, you're going to want to jump in. Here's 3 ways that I went from 1 door to 12 doors in 5 months. The first is that posts are permanent. The second is no more masks. And the third is bring your pom-poms. In today's video, we're going to be talking about that first one. Posts are permanent. Now, I'm a millennial and I'm a big believer in social media. Every deal that we've had so far has come through either Facebook or Instagram. And so I realized the power that lies within social media. Now, the first step, posts are permanent. What does that even mean? What it means is that your reputation or the personality or the persona that you present online says a lot about who you are. It says a lot about your character, and honestly, it tells me if I want to do business with you or not. Can you imagine? A few months ago, when we bought our first property, I was looking to place a tenant, just a regular renter. Someone inquired, and I looked at their Facebook page only to find them on their Facebook page with photos of illegal weapons and some verbiage and language that I didn't quite like. I'm sure you figured it out. I didn't rent it out to this potential tenant. And so the same is to be said for buyers. As a buyer, you want to present yourself the best possible way. Now, you don't want to lie or be untrue to your character, but you want to present yourself in a way where a seller can look at your profile online and say, yeah, they seem like decent people to work with. And so here's the first step. The first step is to check your profile name. Now, if you're on Instagram, you know how you can change your name into whatever you want it to say. I would try to stick with something that's clear to read, that's very missional and focused on what you're trying to do so that nobody has to guess. The biggest thing with social media is don't cause people to guess. You want to be as clear as day, so clear that if someone came across your profile who had no real estate experience, they could figure out what you're trying to do and accomplish, and they can figure out how they can join you. Now let's start with Facebook. Please use your first and your last name. Let's keep it really simple. Use your first and your last name and get a decent headshot of yourself. It doesn't even have to be a professional headshot. It could be something with an iPhone, but something that clearly shows who you are. Now, I get some of us are nervous and weary of privacy issues, and so maybe that's not your preferred way to post a profile picture. I've just found that it works best when you use something that looks clean and professional. The second thing is you want to look at your posts that you've made and you want to be conscious. I don't know if you realize this, but if your security settings aren't set, anyone can see what you've posted online. And so you want to be mindful of what you're posting or what you're posting about. Otherwise, set your privacy settings so that nobody can look. Now, if you're on Instagram, this is really where I see people make the most mistakes as real estate investors. Their profile name will be decent. Maybe it's John, the real estate investor. But then I look at their bio, and their bio is terrible. Listen, if you followed me for any amount of time, you'll know this. Your bio isn't for you. It's not a highlight reel. It's not for you to remind yourself what you're doing. Your bio are for networking with other people who want to join you in your journey. And so if you look at my bio, it's very simple. I tell you exactly what my mission is, and I tell you the states that I'm operating in. And so if anyone were to come across my bio on Rentals to Retirement, they would see what I'm doing, they would see where I'm doing it, and they could figure out how to get involved. Very simple. And so in this first step, your social media is so key. So now we've covered Facebook, our profile picture, and our posts on our wall. We've covered Instagram, our profile picture, which would be the same as Facebook, our bio. And here's the real kicker and why this first step or this first part of this series is called Posts Are Permanent. You have to be mindful of the way that you interact with people online. Like, you want to make sure, no matter what the case is, that you present yourself in a way, like I said before, where someone can look at a post that you've made and say, I can work with this person. Personally, I don't get caught up in big group arguments online because I know that can come back to bite me in the donkey. Additionally, you want to make sure that you monitor how you interact specifically when it comes to real estate. And so even though the candidate that I talked to you about earlier didn't have a Facebook profile that showed me that they would be a responsible tenant, maybe a decent person, obviously I can't judge all of that, but just based on what I saw, even though this person didn't meet the criteria, I wasn't rude and I didn't ignore them. I just told them, hey, thank you for applying. At this time, we're going to go in a different direction. We have a different candidate we're going to offer this home to. And so even when people don't fit your journey or your vision or your mission of what you're trying to do, just remember this: be a nice human being.
Be nice. Come on.
And I'll tell you why. There was one point which a wholesaler on Facebook, which I'm really big on, a wholesaler on Facebook had a deal. And they had the deal listed at about $20,000 more than it should have been listed at. Now, I'm sure we've all experienced wholesalers who do this type of thing. But rather than tearing them apart in the comments like everyone else was doing, I just sent him a message. Hey, John, I saw your post, and quite honestly, like everyone is saying, you're a little high. Now, I don't know how long you've been wholesaling, but I would recommend reconsidering the price and maybe coming down a little, and you might get a better response. Now, initially, John didn't respond to me, but 2 weeks later, John sent me a deal via private message. And he told me specifically, before he posted this on the public group, he wanted to send it to me first because I was so kind to him when he first posted his first listing. See, this is how it works. Maybe not all the time. When you're kind to people and just genuine, people respect that. And a lot of times that'll come back around in your favor. But even if it doesn't, listen, this is the biggest thing you can take away from this whole video. Even if you don't get anything out of it, just be a nice person. Just be a nice human being to everyone you interact with online. Don't make fun of people. Don't ridicule people. Don't tell people how ridiculous their list price is. Maybe just offer them some help or just leave it alone. But the biggest thing, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, any social media platform, YouTube, just be a nice person. And so this is the first part of this series. Posts are permanent because our online reputation can influence and steer people in considering whether or not they should work with you. All of our deals have come through social media and relationships that we've created online, and I think the same can be said for you today. If you would spend a little time to focus more on your personality online, it might lead you to better working relationships, more networking, the right networking, and maybe a deal in your future. Now, the next 2 videos that are coming out in the next 2 weeks are going to be highly impactful for some of you, and I'm actually going to bring someone on for the last video to just expand the topic of bringing your pom-poms. Well, thank you for joining me today. Simple Real Estate Investing, offering you tips to help you get started on your wealth building journey through real estate. Now, before you leave, go ahead, like the video, comment down below with just one takeaway, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on Instagram so you can stay updated with with the different videos we're gonna be posting in the future.